It's Ron Reader Digs the Universe. I'm Ron Reader, and this is Ron Reader Digs the Universe. And tonight, Donald Trump, President for Life. I think I first heard the term President for Life when I was in fourth grade, 1977 or 1978. I was reading a reprint of a Jimmy Olsen story in one of those giant-sized comics, an issue of World's Finest. Jimmy had some adventure down in South America, in a South American banana republic, where he met a president for life dressed in a military uniform. I wondered about that for a moment. I mean, you know, I was in fourth grade. I figured that it meant he was so good at his job that they made him their permanent ruler or something, and continued reading the story. This Presidente ended up being corrupt and crooked, of course, but I still didn't get that his title, President for Life, has a great deal to do with being corrupt and crooked. Indeed, El Presidente in this Jimmy Olsen story was just your standard run-of-the-mill South American dictator, which I finally figured out some years later. So, a president for life is an autocrat, one which attempts to invoke an aura of liberal democracy while actually ruling with an iron fist. No, I was elected to this position. This is a democracy. Yeah, right. Fortunately, here in the United States, we have constitutionally mandated safeguards against there ever being a president for life in this country. Adopted in 1951 as a reaction to FDR a few years earlier having been elected to his fourth term in office, the 22nd Amendment limits a president to 2 terms, which in theory would prevent the rise of a president for life. But never say never when considering malevolent force of nature Donald J. Trump. In an interview over the weekend, the president made clear that he is not joking when he speculates about running for a 3rd term, and says that there are methods by which you could do it. He explained that he might do it by running as vice president, partnered with Vance, who would immediately then resign the presidency on his hypothetical inauguration day, thereby making Trump president for a 3rd term. And they think they can do this because the 22nd Amendment makes no reference to any process besides being elected. Digby over at Salon says she thinks Trump, an old, disgusting, unhealthy blob of toxins, Diet Coke, and cheeseburgers, might not even live to see that day. And in any case, I don't see Vance handing over the Oval Office once he's got it. But in his interview, Trump spoke of other methods, which he left unnamed. No mystery there, though. The other methods are declaring a national emergency and indefinitely suspending elections. And that might actually be doable here in the next few years, depending on how well he consolidates power and how a few Supreme Court decisions are ruled. Last week, masked ICE agents essentially kidnapped an Iranian woman here legally on a student visa. She had written an essay in her student newspaper criticizing her school for not supporting Palestine. They grabbed her in the street at night and they whisked her away 1,000 miles. And all she did was express an opinion Trump doesn't like, and they disappeared her. I'm scared. I think that is the future for all Americans if Trump becomes president for life. And unless we deliver a knockout blow to MAGA soon, we're really fucked. I'm Ron Reeder, and this has been Ron Reeder Digs the Universe. Join me, Ron Reeder, again next week for another episode of Ron Reeder Digs the Universe. So I've ended tonight's episode on a real down note. I've ended far too many episodes in the time that I've been doing this show on a down note, and you know, there's still hope, and so I would like to end this with an uplifting image of Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen.